The next year, Cyrodiilic becomes the common language of Tamriel, which replaces High Elven. Cyrodiilic is what we're speaking right now. It's fucking human. It's the common tongue. Okay.
Yeah, English common tongue moments.
Year 2820. We've only got 100 more years until the second war. So, year 2820, Eric of Gui, an imperial emissary living among the Altmer, writes vitriolic rants against the denizens of Somerset Isle. These are later accepted as reliable accounts by scholars of what High Elves are like, even though they're just racism. They're just racism.
Yeah!
Yes.
Is this a take on Eric, that one fucking really knowledgeable guy that knew most of the Elder Scrolls lore, who ended up dying of cancer?
Oh, you're talking about Eric the Slayer? No, they didn't make their fucking fan who died of cancer a racist in Elder Scrolls lore.
I don't know. You knew a lot about
Oh, my hand's just over.
No, there was a Willow there.
Willow.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
We're doing great.
We're doing really. We're making good time.
Yeah, we're almost done with the first era. Out of 5.
28.
Holy shit, wait.
There are 4 years.
Oh, there's only 4?
Yes, and they keep getting shorter and shorter. I think the second era is only about 1,000 years. The third era is about 400 years, and this fourth era is 200 years.
Okay.
We're working our way
like-
to the 5th one.
Hmm?
We're making our way to the 5th one.
The 5th one technically exists because Michael Kirkbride wrote about it. It involves like stupid like space bullshit and like sci-fi stuff. That's part
I
of
have
the
a question.
Yes.
Does it have the vaccine to cure gayness?
Does not.
Fuck! Fuck!
Okay.
What's even the point then?
When
2843,
Sonic's gonna show up in Tamriel.
Riemann II dies in battle against the Dunmer when he's trying to conquer Morrowind.
Oh.
Also, I should mention by now, there is a god of war that exists in the pantheon called Riemann Ebenarm, and it is suggested that Riemann Ebenarm is the divine form of Riemann I, Riemann Cyrodiil, who made the Second Empire. I don't know how true that is. I know that Riemann Ebenarm is still he is the Ebony Warrior. He is still a god that's worshipped in Hammerfell by the Redguards. But he gets completely replaced in the Imperial Pantheon by a certain other god who we'll talk about later on.
Oh boy! Big team!
I just thought that I would mention Riemann, what the fuck? Ebenarm, yeah. I thought that I'd mention him because he's important. He's talked about my
Warrior? Not the Ebony Warrior in Skyrim, but just...
The Ebony Warrior very well could be Riemann Ebenarm. That is
actually, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, one of the main theories behind the Ebony Warrior is that he's Riemann Ebenarm.
He's a Redguard.
Yeah, he's a Redguard.
Dude.
So that, I mean, I personally believe that. I believe that he's Riemann Ebenarm.
Holy shit.
I like that theory.
Yeah. 2877. Riemann III is crowned. His wife, Empress Tavia, is imprisoned in Blackmarsh in 2899 for treason. 2920, the final year of the first era. Riemann II and his sons are assassinated by the Morag Tong, which is an assassin's guild from Morrowind, up here. Because they were like, you guys are trying to conquer our land, fuck you. So the Morag Tong, which heavily worship Nephala, they basically are, even though, most people in Morrowind worship the tribunal, whatever, they assassinate Riemann III and his sons. The Morag Tong openly take responsibility for this act. Bad fucking idea. Group of assassins.
Oh, yeah.
They, in turn, are forced all the way back into Morrowind, and an Akaviri advisor, a snake man, a Sayesi, named Verisidue Shay, takes the imperial throne and declares the start of the second era. He is basically like, in Lord of the Rings, the steward of
what's it called? The horse place.
No, the steward of Minas Tirith.
Oh,
yeah. How Minas Tirith doesn't have a king, but it has like a steward. That's basically what Verisidue Shay is.
Okay.
Yes.
I feel like I look really angry when I'm trying to think super hard. And so I'm like, I'm not glaring at you, I'm just...
The last event of the first era is that Mehrunes Dagon destroys the city of Mournhold in Morrowind. He is then banished back to oblivion by Sophocles and Almalexia.
Wait, hang on. Oh, that's right.
That's right.
Nothing. Just keep going.
Anyway, yeah, that's why in Mournhold, in the tribunal DLC from Mournhold, you can see a big statue of Almalexia fighting Marin's Dagon. That's basically why that.
I forgot that Marin Dagon did a thing, then Molag Bal responds, and then Marin Dagon does a thing in response to Molag Bal.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
It gets a little stupid later. Alright, that is the end of the first era. Any questions? Questions, comments, or concerns?
Just a lot of concerns, but not as much as the Sonic 2 presentation.
Are there any points where you guys are confused upon? Yes.
Hey yo, so when does that guy that like dies and goes to oblivion, when does he come back?
We'll get to him. We'll get to him. He's coming.
Cuddle with it. John Ross
Right.
is like,
I'm doing good right now.
No, I want to.
Okay. I would ask Alyssa, but she's probably confused about
I have
everything.
so many concerns.
I would
You have
probably have
apparently
to.
been presenting for like 3.5 hours,
Yeah.
and you're not even close to done.
Took a break.
Are you gonna just be here till midnight?
We're
Probably.
just getting started.
Alright, so the first era, the second era, year one. Barissa Duché he officially assumes stewardship of the empire following the Riemann dynasty. The second era then begins on the first of Morningstar. Morningstar is in
And not Lucifer.
Throughout the first 30 years, Riemann loyalists are hunted down and destroyed all throughout Tamriel. These are loyalists to Riemann III, not Riemann I, who Barissa Duché was cool with. The second era, year 230, pretty big fucking time skip, but fuck it. Sickened by his superiors in the Sigic Order, an Altmer mage named Vanus Galerion founds the Mages Guild in First Hold. Around this time, Clavicus Vile, Mephala, and Nocturnal, they are three dated princes. The Clavicus Vile is the dated prince of like deals and bargains. He's like the classical devil. Mephala, as I already mentioned, is the goddess of sex and lies, and Nocturnal is the goddess of shadows and shadow shit. They form the Triad, which is just their little group, and they make a deal with the Sea Slode, Keturah, to acquire the Heart of Transparent Law from the Crystal Tower. The Heart of Transparent Law is just part of the Crystal Tower. It's basically what powers it. Keturah, using mind magic, manipulates the leader of the Sigic Order, Right Master Eachisus, to steal the heart. Eachisus makes a deal with Nocturnal to learn a spell which would hide the heart inside himself, but he forgets that happens because of the mind magic that Keturah is doing. And then Artaeum disappears. By the Sigic Order. The Sigic Order basically take Artaeum, they're like, fuck this shit, we're out.
Okay.
Fuck this shit up.
Yeah.
Yo, what crazy gamer is this Sigic Order?
But yeah, like I said, Vanus Galerion is like, you guys are too bougie for me. I'm founding the Mages Guild. Everyone can be a mage. He's really cool. I like a lot of Elder Scrolls Online. I fucking hate what Elder Scrolls Online did to Vanus' character. It like completely made him a bumbling idiot, and I despise it.
Just like me.
Second era, year 309. Who the fuck are you? Okay, no, these two characters are never mentioned again. But you've got Kirgo and Ashita, which are two Khajiit. They are the rulers of Anakina and Palatine, which are the two kingdoms of Elsewhere. They marry, and this basically officially creates the problems of Elsewhere.
What about Mike the Liar? What is he?
Ma'ik the Liar is an aspect of Lorkhan, which is protected by Nurni, or, Nurn, the planet. And the reason Ma'ik the Liar takes the form of a Khajiit is because the Khajiit worship the earth itself, Nurni. That is what Ma'ik the Liar is.
I did not expect him to be a whole ass
Yeah,
god.
he is a Shezarene as well, because he has a spirit of shore.
He was just a silly guy.
No. Ma'ik the Liar, he actually, in lore, that is why he says meta shit in Morrowind. Like he talks about multiplayer and stuff like that, because he's a Shezarene. He has knowledge. He's basically an aspect of shore.
Okay.
So he could
Pop on.
handle
You weren't
it.
expecting me to fucking fire back with that one.
No, I wasn't.
You were like,
just
I'm gonna get him with this one.
He's just a guy that I was just thinking he's literally just like a guy that walks. No, how wrong I was. Not only was he like a special god, he was like several other different aspects of different gods.
In
Holy
the year 312 of the second era, the Seamount Orcs take over the Isle of Bethany, which is about, like, it's one of these little guys right here. They take over the Isle of Bethany and rename it Bethany. In
Such
year,
a silly name change.
second era, year 320. By now, Versailles has destroyed every army but his own. So he has the largest and only military force on Tamriel.
What a little gamer.
Daenerys Vess, the Iron, founds the Sithom. The Sithom are a mercenary company that in a year will become the Fighters Guild after the Guild Act is passed. In the year 324, Potentate Versailles is murdered by the Morag Tong. He is succeeded by his son, Severian Chorak, who reversed the ban on local armies. So basically, everyone's allowed to have armies again. And also remember Orsinium, you know, like when the orcs got fucked by the Red Guards and the Bretons.
I don't remember that.
The orcs rebuilt Orsinium in Rothgar.
Okay, my bad.
The orcs rebuilt Orsinium right up here, and Versailles' son was like, orcs, you can be in the Empire, sure.
I guess.
I guess, if you really want to. Second era, year 358, is the earliest date the Dark Brotherhood is mentioned. The Dark Brotherhood in Daggerfall, which is the first game they were in, even though they were in more before that, was basically just like a business. Like they weren't religious basically at all. The patron deity was Bafala, but like the Night Mother was just a person you could talk to in Daggerfall. She was just the guild leader. And then when Emil wrote the Dark Brotherhood questline in Oblivion, he basically went to Todd Howard and was like, hey, Todd Howard, can I turn the Dark Brotherhood into Catholicism? And Todd Howard was like, sure, do whatever the fuck you want. That is an official account, by the way. You think I'm exaggerating? No, that is exactly what happened, gotten from the horse's mouth. Emil himself said that. He's basically like, can I rewrite the Dark Brotherhood lore? And Todd Howard dismissively said, yes, go ahead.
To be fair, that was a good idea. I love the Dark Brotherhood.
I think the Dark Brotherhood it's basically Catholicism now. You've got like the speaker who is like Jesus, who speaks to people, and the listeners are his disciples. And then Sithis is God. The Night Mother is, I guess the Night Mother would be Jesus. Anyway.
Nah, she's married.
Yeah. Anyway, it's an interesting idea. I just wish that it was properly gone over in lore. I wish their lore wasn't retconned, because technically, modern Dark Brotherhood lore does fall under the Howardian retcons, which I mentioned earlier. And I don't think that. I think that they should have been smarter about it. They should have incorporated it naturally. But they didn't. Second era, year 269. The Dragon Guard ends the alliance between the dragon Nathalar and King Casimir II of Wayrest. So basically, King Casimir in Wayrest had this dragon who he was buddies with, named Nathalar. And the Dragon Guard come in and they're basically like, no, you can't have Pet Dragon. That's not fair. That is not balanced.
The Blades, they made me kill Parthenax, and now they're asking Narthalar to go away?
What's even the fucking point if you can't have a pet dragon?
Nathalar is such a badass though that he manages to evade the Dragon Guard and they don't get him. They don't.
Let's go. He got.
Free my boy Nathalar. He's on the run from the cops right now.
Dude, I want Nathalar and Parthenax to team up. That's all I want.
That is
now.
unfortunately impossible. We'll get to that later. Second era, year 373. The Atlas of Dragons, an incomplete and constantly updating list of dragons slain by the Dragon Guard, is compiled by Brother Matthew. Second era, 418. Abner Tharn, hey, we're back at the Tharns again. Abner Tharn of the prominent Tharn family is born. He is an imperial mage. He is, yes.
The thorns in my side are bad. Sorry.
431. Skyrim splits into Eastern and Western kingdoms. This is a Howardian retcon. Orsinium is sacked by Breton and Redguard forces again after it loses its status as an imperial territory. Fuck the orcs. Let's hear it. Fuck the orcs. Fuck the orcs.
Those no
Fuck
good dirty
the
damn
orcs.
orcs.
Why are we fucking the orcs?
Fuck the orcs.
They're dirty.
So do you feel about the orcs how you feel about Tooth from Avatar 2?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, Orsinium is destroyed once again for the second time.
The orcs.
They're dirty. They had like their leader like got ate by a god and then was pooped out, and now that's
And now
how
that's how they became orcs.
they're
In the-
poop. They're
They're shit
shit.
monsters.
They're shit monsters.
Yes.
For real.
Yes, that is what happened. In Second Era 465, Abner Tharn becomes the Chancellor of the Elder Council and serves as the Imperial Battle Mage to the Empire.
Yo.
Meanwhile, all of his siblings are like doing badass shit. Like his sister is becoming a prominent battle mage. His daughter, I think, is doing stuff in Elsewhere right now. Like she's becoming sort of a vassal queen of Elsewhere, I think.
Oh, she's
Um,
lying.
Yeah.
Pop on.
Yes, Queen Slayer.
Second Era 518, Morikar, the future emperor, is born. 3 years later, Imric, future king of Wayrest and the leader of the Daggerfall Covenant, is born. 533, a Reachman named Durkarak the Black Drake conquers Cyrodiil and names himself emperor. Reachmen are basically Bretons who live in the wilds of the Rothgar Mountains, and called the Reach,
I love
which
them.
is on the western side of Skyrim.
They're cool.
3 years later, Baron Aquilarius is born. That's an important name. 541, Morikar reclaims the throne of the Empire after Durkarak is killed by Imric of Cumberland and his army. 542 of the Second Era, the first Daggerfall Covenant is formed. It is composed of the kingdoms of Daggerfall, Camlorn, Stormhelm, Evermore, and Wayrest, which are all High Rock kingdoms. 4 years later, High King Yoren, future leader of the Ebonheart Pact, is born. We are getting into like hard ESO lore right now. 555.
We weren't in a hard ESO lore.
The Elder Scrolls Online lore.
Oh,
Aerin, future queen of Alinor and the leader of the Almeri Dominion, is born in 555. Second Era 561, Morikar and his son plan the creation